Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 399 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined always and forever, and today especially, by none other than the most societal among us, Willie Saylor. Willie, how are you?
Always and forever.
Wow.
It's a good song.
I actually don't think I know it.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
What song is that?
I think the title of it might be "Always and Forever."
Who's it by? Always and Forever? It's just everything's
It
always
was in a comedy. I'll send it to you.
Got it. Straight away, the radioactive Stephen.
He
Kyle
is
Bracke.
radioactive.
He is part chupacabra. Stephen Kyle, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm wearing my Ron Rock Chupacabra shirt. I don't know if you can see it right now because I can't see the stream, but
There it is. We can't actually see it. They put Bracke in the corner, but we can technically see you. Is it sounding zany for you, Nomad, right now?
Yeah, that's why I'm moving all.
Yeah, I'm moving a lot too. We're having ever since the show started. We have some zany stuff in our ears, Caleb and Owen. So it's all right now. Okay. Well, hold on. To my left, Daniel Roy Lobdell Jr. Nomad.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome. It's good. This is our second show in a row. I think everyone's been here, and it's nice for the time being. That's very good. Now, the wrestling universe turned their eyes to Round Rock, Texas, not 4 days ago, and it was awesome. I woke up, got a workout in, as Nomad suggested. He had the kind of the whole day laid out for you. I don't know if y'all saw that tweet, but it was the most Nomad tweet ever, because I just can imagine him sitting there and be like, this is at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock. He's like, man, there are so many things you can do between when you wake up, and no one else would have been able to figure out how they would have managed their time between waking up and 1 o'clock if no one didn't say, here's a few things you could do between waking up at 1 o'clock. You could work out. You could get your shopping squared away. You could do this. You could do that. Back to school time.
So that tweet was inspired by several, fans, coaches sending me texts and DMs being like, yeah, I got to figure out how to sneak some time in to watch this. The old lady wants us to do this. And I'm like, it's at 2 o'clock. You got time, right? You could go to the farmer's market all morning. You could do your errands, right? Go work out, go walk around the lake.
You think that was lost on them? You think they never would have put that
Well,
together?
I just wanted to remind my friends that it was feasible.
this is like when he hopes everyone gets to the tournament safe.
Yeah. I hope everyone gets the tournaments. Yeah, and obviously we do not want anyone to have a devastating knee injury. He just needs to get out in front of that before people start thinking we're hopeful.
You should switch it up and go opposite.
Full heel turn?
Instead of hey, Iron Man's today. Let's hope everybody gets there safe. You should be like, well, I hope nobody gets in a wicked accident killing several.
Yes, that would be an interesting turn. Okay, we have to talk about Kyle Dake versus Alex Dieringer, and I have this problem where I keep wanting to say Alex Dake and Kyle Dieringer. I don't know why. Did it on radio last week, and I also did it on the broadcast. I'm not sure what that's about. But the match was awesome. The turnout was amazing. We had no expectations whatsoever, and then we kept hearing about all the pre-sold tickets. We're like, okay, this could actually be awesome, and it totally over-delivered. The place was packed, and it appears that the Central Texas area is hungry for more wrestling, so hopefully we can give them a little bit more. But we have to talk about these matches, and I feel like we're probably going to be a little divided.
On that note, was it a lot of Oklahoma people that came down, or was it just Texas wrestling fans?
I think it was mostly Texas wrestling fans. It's hard to know. I'm not trying to say something, but Dieringer didn't give a lot to get excited about that you would really be able to. But the crowd was just very energized the whole time. You could tell they were waiting for something to happen. And when something big happened, they freaked out. But I'm not sure if it was a lot of Oklahoma people. I think it was mostly probably 80% Texans.
There was obviously more Oklahoma State than Cornell for obvious reasons.
No, I didn't mean that.
Overwhelming. No. It wasn't an overwhelming amount.
What I was trying to get at is, was the crowd was the crowd a good crowd? Was there 1,000 people there because Oklahoma State fans came down?
No.
No.
If you had a kid
was
from
Texas- it was
Pennsylvania and a
Texas
kid
wrestling.
from
Yeah.
Washington.
It was
Okay,
Texas
that's my
wrestling people. Okay, so let's talk about the matches. Match number 1, Dake, Dieringer. Dake comes out, and I think he implemented a game plan I don't think we'd seen him use ever. You know, definitely not against Alex Dieringer. I thought it was brilliant chess move that he made. And as soon as the whistle blows, he's backing up, gets to the zone, he's evading, he's level change faking, and here's what I think threw Ringer off the most, or one of the things. I think it all probably played together, but he would engage. Ringer would engage. He was snapping off, pulling 2-on-1. He would not stay in the ties for an extended period of time, especially in the early goings of that match. And Dieringer's offense is amazing, but it is predicated on a couple of holds, right? He posts to the left side shot or inside control to his single leg, and those are his takedowns other than his defense. So he's got really good go-behinds and stuff, but Dake's not going to be in that position much. So if he's going to score, it's going to be from those positions. And Dake there were so few times where he was in his like goal positions that I think there was such little opportunity for him to score. And I think, you know, a lot of people, well, Willie, not a lot of people, maybe just Willie, is like, why? I don't understand why he didn't attack more. I think the opportunities weren't there because Dake doesn't give you those opportunities. I don't think it was some weird hesitation on Dieringer's part. I think it was just like great game plan.
Well, okay, let's start. When you say the whistle blew, it was really, was it not fascinating that the whistle blew and then Dake like did what he did? 3
Totally
seconds into the match, 3 seconds into the match, you're like, okay, Dake has a game plan here. Dake has a very specific game plan. I was like fascinated. Okay, see how this played out. When I say, to the point where you said that I said Dieringer didn't go take it. I mean, Dieringer, when Dake's playing the edge, Dieringer, he didn't take a lot of risk, is what I mean. You know, I'm not saying that he didn't take attacks that weren't there. I'm saying he didn't force a lot. Dake was in the zone a long time, and I know that Dake is dangerous there, but at no time did Dieringer really force the issue.
Well, the one time he did, he got stepped out because it was playing right. He played right into what Kyle wanted.
Yeah.
Kyle, and Dieringer's smart. He knows he wants the action there because it's the advantage. If you're coming straight on, the advantage is to the defensive guy. If you're like Kyle Dake, you can circle and just get an easy step out. And the one time he attacked on the edge, that's what happened.
Well, you said it on the stream too, Christian. Jordan Oliver employed that strategy, that Matador strategy. And so, you know, they were in the same room at Cornell. I mean, it's something maybe they're developing. Like, look, with certain guys, we can wrestle the edge and counter.
I thought it was genius. Yeah, I thought it was genius. And you look at, I went back and watched the other matches before the match, and then I watched them since the match. And if you watch just their U.S. Open final from 2018, they wrestle in the center of the mat almost the entire time. They are connected almost the entire time. That was a 5-5 win for Dake. Controversially, very close. Obviously, it went down to criteria. And Dake probably said, "I'm not gonna play that game again. I'm gonna throw him something completely different." And the underhook was it wasn't something where he spent a ton of time there, but the times he used it was jarring because as great upper body as Kyle Dake is, he has never done that against Alex Dieringer. He doesn't do it very often where he comes with that heavy underhook to the right side.
Yeah,
I think that threw him off too.
Dieringer looked very uncomfortable with that underhook.
No rhythm.
Dake very effective with it. And you're right, it only occurred in certain sequences. It's fascinating to me when you have two high-level guys, and we talk, you know, he's maybe the two best guys in the world. But It's fascinating when you get to two high-level guys, and it's almost totally strategic. The match was almost totally strategic.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just two guys going out there and wrestling.
Well, I think part of that comes from the nature of the way that we now choose our team, right? Where it's a one-off, especially given that this was so far removed from the actual one-off, right? I mean, Final X is only a couple weeks after World Team Trials. This was several months. But to a couple of the points you guys made, I don't know if you watched the interview afterwards, but I asked Dake about, did you execute the game plan? And then I asked him specifically about his underhook. And the word he used, immediately I was like, oh yeah, duh. He said, yeah, I underhooked his power hand, which is what CP was saying, where Dieringer only has a few specific holds or a few specific setups, and so when you take those away, he loses a lot of what makes him good. And then another thing, and this was something, Reese Humphrey had like a real good, interesting take about the match, right? I think very highly of Reese's breakdowns of things, and I asked him, how much of it do you think was mental, right? Where Ringer knows that if you bull rush into Dake, who is maybe the best defensive wrestler ever, at least within America, or at least way up there, how much that is mental, where it's like, well, I can only do so much versus obviously the physical adjustments within the match. And I thought that was a real interesting debate about how much it was mental and how much it was just obviously what Ringer sees in the moment.
Yeah, to me, it's like Ringer is able to impose his will on just about everyone, right? He's able to get to his ties. He's able to implement his offense. And Dake is just another level defensively. And I think part of it is Dake's just at another level defensively. And the other part is, what is the other part? Dude, this audio is throwing me off, and it really, really messed with my train of thought.
I know, the same thing for you, buddy.
So, yeah, I was like a little taken aback that it went that way. Oh, yeah, the other part is I think Dieringer was like prepared for a match to go a certain way. And like when it doesn't go the way that you practiced for since May,
sure,
it's like, whoa, this is not what I was anticipating. Because Dake had his hand on the mat so much of the time they wrestled last time, and they were tied up in the middle. And I think he thought this could be like the U.S. Open. And Dake threw him a curveball, and I don't think it had entered his mind that the match would go that way. That would be the game plan.
That's what I was going to say, is that the whistle blows and Dieringer had to be like, okay.
Where's it going?
What? Yeah. And so I wasn't too surprised that the first match sort of played out that way, given the fact that Dieringer wasn't probably prepared for that, or not that he wasn't prepared for it, that he didn't expect it. But then the match 2 sort of went the same way. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of adjustments made in match 2.
Yeah, it was. Well, I thought after match 1, the way it kind of ended, I really thought that Dake was going to come out a little more offensive, and once he put himself in that 2-0 lead in the first minute, and
changed everything.
When he's got a chase. When Dieringer had to chase and come from behind, I mean, Dake is so good at protecting the lead. I felt like that was it. And I gotta say one other thing. I'm curious for y'all's thoughts. The caution in one against Dake in the last like 10 seconds of match 1, I thought was kind of insane. For fleeing the hold, he was basically in the center. If you go back. He's basically in the dead center of the mat, hand fighting with Dieringer. Now, is he taking attacks? No, but like, man.
Was it for fleeing or was it for was it a second attention for fingers or head?
No, I thought it was a flea. I don't know. I could go back and watch it.
He went like this. I mean,
I know he. Well, I mean, that's caution 1, but
I don't think he didn't indicate that it was for fingers. I thought that was crazy, okay. And I think that reminded me of like a folk style stall call when the guy's up by 2, the obligatory one. But
yes,
I don't. Man, to me that's not. Can you imagine if that was an American against a foreigner and we were up by 1 and that came up and the guy's hand fighting in the center? It's easy for us to like look over. Okay, Dake won. This is fine. But if you go back and you look at how that was called. And the broader implication, if that is how it's going to be called, It's kind of crazy. And believe me, I'm not going to stand in front of you or sit here and say Dake was ultra offensive and should not have ever been questioned that he was being passive. He's passive. He implemented a game plan to win by one. But that I saw that and I was like, really?
Well, that's another thing that was TR Foley brought that up, who frequently brings up that things in America aren't always officially the way they are overseas, but he's like, if that's overseas, he thinks Dake gets put on the clock again or more often, or gets hit for caution in one in that way.
That's why I could have seen a put on the clock again, or with that game plan implement. I just didn't.
That's why I was kind of okay with it. That's why I was kind of okay with it, because you can't put somebody. First of all, the scoring sequences were such that nobody really took control of that first match, and so
there were 2 offensive points scored, and they were all from Kyle Dake. Dieringer had 1 shot clock point, and Kyle had 2 step outs.
What was the score at the time? 4-3, 4-2.
It was 3-1.
Yeah, it was 3-1.
3-1.
Dake had 2 step outs and a shot clock. Ringer had a shot clock. To me, I saw one guy scoring offensive points.
Yeah.
There was like 3 exchanges, and Dake won 2 of them, basically.
Yeah. Go back and watch and find the mountain of offense from Alex Dieringer that would merit.
No, I know.
A caution in one.
No, I know. But if you can, I don't know. I was all right with it. If you can't put somebody on the clock that late, right?
Listen, no. Right, you can't. You cannot put them on the clock if there's less than 30 seconds left. But at this was not. He's standing in the middle of the mat hand fighting, Willie. They are interlocked. He's not even going backwards. He's there tied up with him. That's not fleeing. That's not caution in one. That's not you're not shooting. He didn't shoot either. So so what is the difference? The only difference is one guy needed points and the other guy didn't. So basically, you're saying the situation, the score is dictating where a passivity point goes.
Well, no, I'm saying I'll go back and watch. I didn't realize. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe Dake was staying in there. My recollection was that it was kind of engaging and then not engaging. But I'll go back and watch it.
I also just think this is kind of indicative of the match this is, where while I pretty well feel like, as Christian was saying, there's only a few exchanges and Dake won all of them. But this is kind of indicative of the way matches can go overseas, where if there's only, 3 points on the board, 2 points on the board, refs might get involved.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I thought we had a pretty good crew there. But the guys kind of were forcing their hands a little bit.
Sure.
I don't know that I like Dieringer go on the clock in the second, but it just point being is sometimes those things can happen overseas.
Here's where I'll disagree.
Right or wrong.
Here's where I'll disagree. No one's forcing the officials' hands. There's no rule that says a point has to be scored every 45 seconds. That's not a rule.
No, I know.
There are some. They can't have a scoreless period. Whatever. There's no hand being forced. The hand that's being forced is Alex Dieringer's hand. He has to score points. It's a wrestling contest. You have to score points. And there are some rules designed to punish egregious evasion from wrestling. Egregious. This is not egregious. This is a guy that didn't need to score, not trying to score, but not evading. He was staying engaged. So I don't even like saying they forced their hand. They only force their hands when they have to pick, when no points are going up and they have to choose someone. That's when their hands are forced.
There were some people, okay, I'm transitioning here off of that caution in one, but there were some people like during the break complaining about the shot clock. And I complain about shot clock too, in the sense that like sometimes they try to game it and like the guy that's really passive, they go the other way. They reward they put the first passive on the aggressor for some weird reason. So I complain about the shot clock too, but during the break, between match 1 and 2, there were some people saying, why I don't get the shot clock, and why they do the shot clock, and I thought this person was the more aggressive. And I'll say this, you can complain about the order of things, but in a 6-minute match, if you're not scoring, I mean, if the match is going to come down to a 1-2-0, 2-1, I mean, score, right? I mean,
Are you talking about the admittedly dangerous, but the refs trying to look into the future and being like, okay, this is going to be a 2-point match.
See,
The person who is more aggressive should actually go on the clock in the first period so that the other person goes on the clock in the second period, which I know is dangerous.
that
but
point has been made to me many times that's something they do. I don't think they do that. I mean, find me an example where
I can find you.
Find them. I watch a ton. I don't think that was the case. I just don't think that's the case very often. I've heard that that's a thing that they do. I think it's incredibly rare, and I think that the shot clock.
I mean, it occurred the whole. Well, it becomes abundantly clear at cadet level where there's 2-minute periods.
yeah,
Well, they're literally just
that's a little different.
Yeah, 2-minute periods. I would not use that as an example. I'm talking about the highest levels. I just don't see it that way.
Well, the larger point is, in a 6-minute match, I mean, somebody goes on a shot clock. It's very rare. It's not going to come into play, right? And if it does, it's your fault you didn't score.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Bottom line: should both guys have been on the shot clock in match one? Yes. Yes is the answer. Absolutely,
Yeah.
Dake should have been on the shot clock. Absolutely, Dieringer should have been on the shot clock. And they were. And they both were. And beyond that, it's on the wrestlers to do wrestling moves and not hope for a Hail Mary bailout from the refs.
In the first match in the first period on the first shot clock, didn't Dake score a push out like just after the shot clock?
Yeah.
Wasn't it 1-1 after the push out?
Dake, who was clearly the more defensive wrestler who was not engaging, got put on the clock first in match one. And he scored right after he gave up a shot clock point.
Yep.
Right? So in this match, it went the track it should have. He should have been put on the clock first because he was being passive.
Which ultimately gave him, at the time, the lead on criteria because
He scored right after. Yep.
So,
okay, so that was match one. Then match two, he comes out, he shoots in the first 3 seconds, gets a step out. They wrestle a little bit more, gets another, I forget how he scored his second one. I don't know if it was off underhooks or whatever. Then they have the key exchange where in the second period, Dake gets to the underhook almost like a seatbelt in a body lock position, lifts Dieringer up. And it was really kind of tough to tell whose foot stepped out first or how it worked, but ultimately it was Ringer's foot that goes out. So a huge exchange ends up just being 1 point for Dake, and that was ultimately the difference in the match.
Yeah, I mean, I think at that point everybody wanted to get excited about something, and people that were completely impartial, not that they were rooting for one guy or the other, they just probably at that point were rooting for excitement.
Yep.
Probably were like, that's 4 for Dieringer. Now we have a match, but Ringer's foot clearly hit out and way out. I mean, Dake had him completely lifted off the ground.
Yeah.
Right.
well, and then there was the the gut wrench, which they quickly threw away. But in the moment, I'm like, well, this could be a gigantic swing that would seal it.
Yeah, well, or it could have been, I mean, if they called the gut, I mean, that would have meant that Dieringer went feet to back on him for 4.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Which is kind of, I feel like, yeah, right. Which, now I'm thinking about it, that was the nature of the challenge.
Right.
Because Espo kept going like this. Yeah.
Yeah, so ultimately Dake your winner in 2 straight, and, but we knew this was for probably the world title, and we're feeling pretty good about Kyle. I mean, my question is, I have a couple. One, do we think that is world champion Kyle Dake? Dake is back. There's no effects of the injury anymore. You think that? I think that too. I felt like this dude is optimized. He looked great, and
also mentally, and I know that it was a small sample size, right? But just like talking to him afterwards, I don't know. Maybe if it's the extended time off, right, where there's less wear and tear on your body and all these things, and having a kid maybe and being the defending champ. I don't know, but like Kyle Dake is an extremely confident person, and this was even a different level than I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I mean, Dake's there, right? Dake's fine. Everything's fine. And I don't think that's the game plan that we'll see every match. I think Dake will be Dake in most matches. But he had a game plan for a ringer, as he should, with 6 months to prepare for one, or not 6 months, but 4 months to prepare for one guy. And but physically, I think he's there. And I thought, I don't think I watched the matches in Spain. So I hadn't really seen Kyle for a while, but I thought, he comes out on the mat. It's the first time I see him in a while. I thought he looked small compared to Ringer, and small compared to what he looked like in the past. So I was like, oh, this could be interesting because Ringer's a horse, right? And Dake often employed that in the past. Dake often employed really settling in the center and pushing to the edge, right? Because he's a powerful guy. And I was like, maybe that's going to come into play. Dake looks small. When Dake had to go, that dude was strong, right? That dude was powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, to one, not get pushed around by Dieringer, and number two, to show the horsepower he did at times. He's good. He's fine. He's strong.
Yeah, I think he's completely fine, and he's going to win Worlds. And then for Ringer, I wonder. So Dake had this perfect arc, and there's no way he was ever going to wrestle at Final X, and I think he knew it all along. So in my mind, he has been shooting for a certain date and on a certain trajectory all along, whereas Dieringer had been kind of all over the place with his, right? And yeah. I'm wondering was Dieringer on too much? Was he did he maintain a high level of high intensity training for a couple months extra, and did that maybe negatively, because was that the best version of Alex Dieringer? I don't know. It's tough to look good against Kyle Dake, right? And he didn't there. Now a year ago he did, but I don't know if that means he just was a little fatigued just from training and not actually getting to compete, because it's easy to say, man, that what he did to Zahid in late May versus how he looked here, it's easy to compare those two and say, no, he was off. But then the variable is also Kyle Dake.
Yeah, I think with that, it's kind of like in football when you go for it on fourth down. If you get it, it's a smart decision. If you don't get it, it's a dumb decision, right? Because we also talked about Dake's time off, and when an athlete takes a lot of time off, and another athlete is continuing to go, right? You kind of favor the one that's been going. So I feel like if Dieringer had won, we would have been saying the opposite. Did Dake have too much time off? Was Ringer just on a consistent thing?
Yeah, good point.
I don't, which I'm not fully discounting your point. I don't think that was the case for Dieringer. I think that may happen to some guys, but I don't know if that was the case for Alex, because I think this year was ultimately good for him. And all the things he did.
I think more than anything, it was game plan.
Yeah.
It was script.
Yep. I think you're right.
But it is a good question, because I do think some guys are not built to compete year round.
It's a great question to ask. I mean, you see it in baseball and football all the time. A team that's, they won their last 6 games. They're on a roll, but they get a bye in the first round of the playoffs. And is it good to get a bye, or is it good to keep that rhythm?
Right.
Biorhythms. Okay.
Biorhythms, basically.
Yianni Zain. We talked about it on Friday on the Emergency FRL. It's happening. But we got to break some people's hearts, Willie. They will not do this at Who's Number One.
Well, a lot of people were like...
I don't think a lot of people.
Some people. There were some people saying...
Did you see more than 5 people say have this at Who's Number One?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Why can't?
Listen.
Well, all right. Well, explain to me why this match can't
Well, I
happen.
got
Who's
the
number one?
I got the exclusive.
Okay. Give me the reason.
Well, I talked to Nomad, Lalovic, and he said that Worlds are going to happen before who's number one.
Okay. So
they're wrestling off for the spot at Worlds.
see, that's a lot of negativity. I'm looking for answers here. I'm looking
I know.
for a solution.
It's a
No.
cool
Okay. So
world.
not at who's number one. Total rumor mill. Total rumor mill. Don't know anything, but sounds like September 2nd. Total rumor mill. And also sounds like New York City.
Now it has to be
Rumor
done.
mill.
It has to be done by what date, Christian? Like it has to be done.
Has to be. They leave the 5th.
Right.
But
and-
they are worried about this sending in
right.
itineraries and stuff.
So rosters are due to UWW on the 4th, but it's the 4th Swiss time, so it's moved up 6 hours plus flights plus things like that. So they want a little bit more buffer. So the 2nd.
It's a lot of buffers. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a lot
And
of
then
buffers.
NYAC is halfway in between, roughly, both parties.
You know, I was thinking about that, and we as media and fans like knowing who's wrestling at tournaments ahead of time instead of finding out when the brackets come out. And I love that UWW has taken initiative to help facilitate that. But like, okay, in the case of Jordan in 13, when he has a broken ankle and Dake goes on the trip with him, like if Jordan wouldn't have been able to go, could Dake enter? My point is,
you
if
can,
you have to-
list backups.
Oh, Azerbaijan
it-
frequently lists their whole team, 3 deep.
right. So the point, I keep hearing about, that you have to send in rosters by the 4th. What they can put Yianni and Zain on that piece of paper.
Yeah, and they probably should because one of them could very well get hurt, and Zayn is very potentially not healthy.
It's also, yeah, I think USA tries to follow the spirit of the rule and be like, no, this is our real team.
This is their starter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spiritually, this is our starter. Okay, so that's interesting. We'll see. Hey, I got a question. Round Rock, Texas just threw about 1,300 in there. What you got, New York? New York City, wrestling hotbed, state of New York, near New Jersey. All right, we'll see. We'll see who rolls up.
Can I address a couple things? All right, first of all, I put out a tweet afterwards that said we just put 1,000 people, which apparently undershot it by 334. Guys, I didn't mean we FloWrestling. I meant we the sport
You
of
meant
wrestling.
we as in FRL.
You shouldn't even have to say that. It's
Yeah.
so
No, but I'm going to
ridiculous.
explain it.
But
I'm going to explain
you know
it.
what,
It's so
Tony
rid-
Ramos? We have to explain it to Tony Ramos.
It's so ridiculous. You're taking the time to explain this right now.
Kyle's pissed.
Well,
It's
apparently
stupid.
people don't understand that 2 athletes in a gym in the OTC can't do this. There needs to be marketing behind it. That's why we spent a week and a half writing 15 articles and videos and doing all these things. And Texas USA Wrestling putting the tickets out early and marketing behind it. USA Wrestling putting their efforts behind it. The schools putting their efforts behind it. This is a collective effort. And then you take the 2 best guys in the world and you put them in a place where people can actually watch, and then people will go. This is a collective effort. We, the sport of wrestling, in totality.
Now, if it had been, to be fair, if Willie sent that tweet, it could have said me. Or if it said we, you'd be like, all right, well, maybe. But Nomad is very much a very collective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And number 2,
There's
for all of the people who are like, oh, put this in Iowa, you get 3,000. Put it in PA, you get 10,000. Show the freak up.
Yeah.
Show up to Final X.
Shots fired at Lehigh Valley.
Show up to who's number. Some guy's like, you put that in Carver, you get 3,000. I'm like, cool, I expect to see who's number 1. Then he's like, I haven't been to Iowa City in like 10 years. You're writing checks other people can't cash, dude.
Someone did the same thing to me because I nominated Round Rock to be the official designated host spot of USA Wrestling Wrestle-Offs. And someone's like, you put in PA, you get 3 times that. I'm like, really? Because we sold more tickets and got more people there than Final X Lehigh.
Yeah.
And who's number one.
And who's number one. So,
And it was only Final X
And-
State
and-
College
and
was
Final X-
only like 1,000 more.
Yeah,
than,
Final X Penn State didn't do anything.
Yeah. So and David Taylor was wrestling in his home gym.
yeah,
So
and
don't
Kyle
give
Dake. And Kyle Dake wrestled. So
don't
he
give
wants
us
it.
that crap.
So y'all want to walk the walk?
And
Y'all
the
want to
Iowa
talk the
thing,
talk? Walk
too.
the walk.
I mean, Thomas Gilman wrestled in Lincoln, which is not far from Iowa.
It's his hometown.
That's the worst narrative ever. Did you have to come back to Lincoln? Okay. All right. So yeah, shots fired at the wrestling fans. No, not shots fired.
No, not shots fired to the wrestling fans that showed up, the real fans.
Wow.
Shots fired to all the people that are writing checks
And if
for other
you
people.
are one of the 1,300, you're not a real wrestling fan.
No, Nomad's taking shots at the fake ones that just want to say, put it in the Northeast and it'll get this many people, and then never go to a wrestling event.
And then y'all don't even go.
You know who doesn't say that? Mark Fitzgerald. That guy actually shows up to the MIAC. He actually shows up to Final X. He goes.
I don't know who that is.
I'm just
Who's Mark?
it's a wrestling fan. Take it. Look, it's a guy that we know from Flow. Anyway, just take that as an actual fan that goes to events and doesn't just say, "Well, you show up here, you get this many people."
You
well,
lost
then
me.
you
The
better
worst-
come, dude.
They lie. I mean, they lie. They act like there's no history. They act like there's no precedent. The greatest one is when when there's Final X, and we announce Final X and we announce the weights. We announce these weights are going to be at Lincoln and these weights are going to be at Rutgers, and people on Twitter and people on message boards are like, well, if they were all together, I would go, but if they're separate, there's only like 4 matches. That's what we did forever. They were together from
Together
the history
forever.
of. They were together from the beginning of time until about 2 years ago, and you didn't go. So stop lying.
From 23 BC till 2017, you guys collectively did not show up to anything that wasn't the Olympic trials.
Yeah.
But now they're
last
separate,
3
and you're saying
years-
you would show up.
Yeah, you draw up.
The last 3 years, there has been actual attendance at World Team Trials and Final X. So, shut up, because you're wrong.
John W. Smith.
John W. Smith.
That's right. Great quote. Okay. So more Yianni Zain news. It was Rich Bender would like to see rule clarification on the 5-second challenge rule thing. I think that has been evident for a very long time that the way this rule is written, the idea that the way the rule is written and how it is called are different, and it's just like an accepted thing amongst officials and coaches, that is insane. The fact that it's like, well, of course we wrote it this way, but obviously we mean this way. Just write the rule. Whatever. Y'all just get in a room. Y'all figure it out. Y'all talk it out and come to a consensus on what it should say. And then you just write those words. You just write them down. You can print them. You can put them in PDF form on the internet. And then when things happen, we can say, you know what? You have a disagreement. Why don't we see what the rule says? And if you didn't do the thing that the rule says, you may have a point. But instead, we like to operate in multiple gray stratas where, okay, we like this rule this way, 5 seconds, but 5 seconds are really 5 seconds, 8 or 9 seconds, and I say 30 seconds is fine. But in 2015, you said 30 seconds would not be fine. That would be unreasonable. So here we are. Rich Bender's right. They need to change this rule. They need to change it for a long time. In 2015, I asked this exact same question, and they won't change it, and I don't know why. So please do. Interesting, they had the head official from United World Wrestling, Silvestri, in, which that's a whole other thing, whole other situation with him. But he is the guy in charge, right? He is their head official. So USA had him, I think it was USA side had him, yes they did, as like kind of a witness or whatever.
Like expert witness.
Expert witness,
Yeah.
they called him. And he took the side that they should not have allowed the challenge. So they called in this guy to like help him out, and he's like, no, you should not allow a challenge. That's ridiculous. You would never allow a challenge that long. To the point that Yianni's side did not cross-examine him. They're like, we're good. And just let him go.
Christian, I'm committed of Grand Theft Auto. Bracky asks you, did Mr. Nomad steal the car?
Yes, he did.
Okay, Your Honor, no more questions.
That's it. We're good here. So that apparently really helped, having the head UWW official say that. And so I don't know. That was a little nugget I thought you guys might find interesting.
That's wild.
The Cornell side wants this match to happen like as soon as humanly possible. I don't think
they said the 24th.
They're like 17th. Let's do it tomorrow. All right, 24th, fine. Saturday, it's fine. But yeah, they're not going to do that. It's going to be later, and we're excited for it. I don't know if there's anything else to discuss on the Yianni Zain front other than we're fired up about it.
As soon as we know,
you
guys will know.
But
we are not going to sit on this.
We kind of told you. We gave you a heads up. There should be no major surprises versus Date. It's going to be on the East Coast where they live, and we know the East Coast shows up to every wrestling match that was ever held because no one loves wrestling like the East Coast. Yeah, sometimes you don't show up. So yeah, excited about that. Mark Hall news? Question mark? I think this could be fake news, Willie. I don't know. I think
it might be fake.
I think
news.
you're just on BWI and bored.
No, that's not true. Okay, so on the Penn State wrestling boards, they said Mark Hall's not listed in the student directory, and so I went into the student directory and I looked him up, and I typed in Hall Mark, and nobody came up. And then I typed in Cassar Anthony, and he came up. And I typed in Vincenzo Joseph, and he came up. And
did you try Soriano?
Soriano did not come up.
Right.
So it appeared that Mark Hall was not listed in the student directory. Now, after that point, so the obvious implications are, is Mark Hall not enrolled in school? And if he's not enrolled in school, that means it's a pretty strong indication he's taking an Olympic. But then afterward, on the same message boards, they looked it up another way, and they said that Mark Hall is listed in whatever directory. There was a different directory, and they said he is listed. So I don't know, but obviously Mark Hall is a huge star, 3-time NCAA finalist, and we're all interested to see if he is or is not competing this year. And so that was interesting, right? I mean, I'm of the opinion that whether anything is settled now or definitive, or if he is in this registry or not in this registry, I'm of the opinion that Mark is taking an Olympic shirt.
That seems to be what most people think.
Yeah.
Is he coming down?
I've been on that train forever. I don't know.
He's got to come down. Why? Yeah.
Yes.
He said he was never going to do it again, but...
And then he's like,
I wonder if he expected to grow more than he did.
His dad is taller than him. So maybe, I don't know. Growth spurt, late spurt. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
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 So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Next topic.
Next topic.
So he is eligible for Olympic red shirt. He is not. Also, he's eligible for regular red shirt. Which I don't know why you would do regular red shirt if you had an Olympic red shirt. But he is not qualified for Olympic trials. And here's the thing that I think we're going to see a lot of before we move on from this. The Bill Farrell is November 15th to 16th.
Mm-hmm.
The Olympic all red shirts, both Olympic and regular, and Olympic's a little different, but it's early enough in the year that you could that we could see guys like go to the Farrell and kind of test the waters and then come back.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a little harder given the school stuff, but I'm willing to bet they can work around that. So we could see guys like maybe take first semester off, do the Farrell and do the December Open, and then kind of decide if they're going to actually Olympic red shirt. So the Olympic red shirt thing is going to be fluid throughout the year. I mean, Kyle Snyder's was fluid, right? We saw him come out of it. So just want to make that point.
He's not qualified for the trials?
There's like 15 people qualified for trials.
Well, he has. I mean, When's the last time he wrestled? What do you have to place at trials to qualify? Because he was at World Team Trials, right?
You have to qualify as the 1th.
So you have to have won the World Team Trials
Yes.
to qualify. So yeah, it's not like World Team Trials where. Oh, I think we have a special guest.
Ooh.
Nice.
Should we bring
This
him on
is
right
a
away?
surprise. Yeah, let's go.
Hey,
Come on. Hey,
This
pull
away.
Pull up a chair. Hold on, guys.
we got a good one.
We've got not a big deal. Just NC2A champion, Jason Tsirtsis. Welcome on here. Center yourself up. You're still off camera. Keep coming. I'll scoot.
Get over here, buddy. Get in nice
Let's
and
bring it
tight.
in for the real thing. So we got Jason. Jason's in for wait, when did you get in? Last night?
Yeah.
Pull him in here,
Last
Christian.
evening. Yeah.
He's in. Oh yeah, he's not quite
I've been
in.
to Austin. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, well, we're glad you could come. So, have you done anything yet, or is this your first stop of the day?
This is the first stop.
Wow.
So,
Okay, it's
jumping right in.
It's only gonna get better from here, so don't worry. Okay, so Jason, you've had a awesome career. Now you're starting your D1 coaching career in Indiana. How's that been so far?
Just starting. I actually just moved to Bloomington yesterday.
Oh, wow.
2 days ago. So
So
it's,
very new.
Yeah, and it's infancy for sure.
So what was the decision to get back into college wrestling?
You know, being away from it for a year, being in the youth scene, the high school scene, it kind of made me realize that I wanted to be at the highest level again. So getting back into the college scene, I think it's where I feel the most comfortable with developing guys and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'd say that's probably the biggest reason.
Coach Escobedo, Coach Dixon. What about those guys made you want to work with them?
I mean, Angel's like he's an older brother to me.
Yeah.
Him and Alex, my older brother, they grew up together, went to high school together, stuff like that. So being able to be with someone like that, having him as my boss essentially, it's nice just because I know how to work with him. I know kind of just who he is as a person. He's a great guy. So Angel's someone who it was easy for me to choose just because of that. And then Dixon, with his expertise and stuff like that, he's been in the game for a long time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Coach Dixon,
Learn
probably one of the
from him.
more underrated coaches in America. Kind of
For
stays under the radar, but an awesome coach if you talk to anybody else in the know.
I wanted to now that you're with Coach Escobedo, and you mentioned that he's an older brother to you, and obviously you're from that area. There's a lot of talent in Indiana, and I don't know if people always realize it. But do you I mean, how important is it, do you think, for Indiana to have in-state guys there, and obviously the coaches and alum to get those kids and keep them in state? Because you can have a pretty good team if you keep some of those talent.
for sure. I mean, it's huge. I mean, thinking back all the way to the late 90s, early 2000s, Leroy Vega, my brother, Andrew Howe.
Reese.
Right. Angel's the only
Stevan.
one. Yep, Stevan,
Yeah.
for sure. So, I mean, you look at that, you get those types of guys staying in state, it's going to change the culture of the state for sure. I mean, hopefully they're going to Bloomington and not West Lafayette. But, we'll see. But definitely keeping them in state's going to be big.
So you had a really strong freestyle resume. What was the decision like, or what made you decide, I'm not going to pursue freestyle goals?
I'd say probably that long, tumultuous college career, it kind of wore on me a little bit. So 6 years being in that college game, I just needed to take a step back from it probably a little bit. So I've been itching to compete a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
But not going to come out here right now and say
No, just that'd be great.
retirement,
That'd be great.
but,
Like Tsirtsis 2020.
No, not quite there yet. But I could definitely see myself in the future getting back in shape and trying to step back out on the mat for sure.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So, never been to Austin before. Do you know what's
Awesome
on your
setup here.
Oh, thank
Nice,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Sometimes even the headphones work. It's an amazing situation. What is on your agenda for today? Do you even know?
I know me and Bader are doing technique, and then from there, I think we're like going on a hike or something, doing an interview or something like that.
Nice. You can show your sit out or nah?
If he wants me to.
You're unrideable. It's amazing.
I will say that. I'm pretty confident. For sure.
I'm very excited for you to tell your story. I think it's very important, and I think a lot of people are going to I don't know if enjoy it is the right word, but a lot of people hopefully learn from it, I guess, and take things from it. And especially now that you're a coach, they can impart that onto their wrestlers as well. So I really hope that people stay tuned for once all of this comes out with Alex's. I think he's going to have or Jason, excuse me. I was talking about your older brother there.
Happens all the time.
Because I think it's a really tremendous story that I don't know if everybody knows all the way through.
Yeah. Well, we're pumped you're in town, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and have fun with Bader.
Definitely.
I'm sure he'll take you to some cool food spots. He's a premier Austin expert. He's been here probably as long as anyone.
That's what it sounds like. So.
Yeah. So I'm sure we'll be seeing you around, Jason.
Awesome.
But thanks for stopping
Yeah,
by.
for
Good
sure.
seeing you as always.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Jason Tsirtsis, ladies and gentlemen. Love those little surprises, right? You never know when they're coming, but
Sure, I'll see you
nice.
guys.
Yep, see you, Jason. All right, let me get the mic down. Okay. So,
What a guy.
what a guy,
excited.
Jason Tsirtsis. I'm extremely excited for this. Some of y'all know a little bit about Jason's story. Some of you don't. Man, some of the stuff that's happened to him, some of the tragedy he had to deal with, and the time it's I think you're gonna get a new appreciation for Jason and kind of what he's been through. I'll just leave it at that.
And then also the pressure or whatever you want to call it of buying into, look, a lot of people criticize Jason for winning low-scoring matches, right, and winning close ones all the time, and then he kind of bought into it. And so I'm really excited to get his takes on that and how he grew from that and how he plans on, imparting that on his Indiana wrestlers. So there's just a lot of stuff with Jason's story that are going to be awesome.
Now, what's going to be really interesting is, so we did the walk and talk with Pat Downey in Austin in February.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice that time of year. It's probably 60 or 70. It has been over 100 every day for 3 weeks here.
Yeah.
So we're going to, Jason and Bader might get down to 65 kilograms today. It could happen because it is sweltering outside. So that could be an added element. The cameras could overheat. We have no idea. But I'll leave that to the professionals. I'll just watch it.
Well, I'm worried about Sean, right?
No, Sean is an animal. There's his physical limitations. There are none.
Bader and Jason, right? They can be drinking water, right? During Sean's got to have 2 hands on the camera at all times.
Sean is built for this, and that's all I'll say.
Maybe he's gonna have a camelback.
He might have a camelback. Okay. Who's number one?
Woo!
Carver Hawkeye Arena. We are excited about this. Took a little bit to get it out there. Turns out it's a little paperworky, this situation. They have to sign contracts. We had a whole bit that we were going to do. We were going to have, if the timing had been right, we would have printed off some piece of paper and we would have pretended like Nomad was signing the contract to have Who's Number One at Iowa on the show. It would have been awesome. So maybe next year, wherever Who's Number One is, we'll do that. We'll have Nomad. I think one thing we should start doing is just have Nomad sign things that are happening so that it makes it seem like you're making them official. That could be a good gimmick. So hopefully the Hawkeye fans are excited. There's a lot of Hawkeye ties related to the card with recruits and potential recruits that have Iowa on their list. So we're excited to move Who's Number One.
Also, there was a lot of tickets moved in the first few days. So, if you want a good seat, because when you go on, I've got the link in my
put it in the radio today. Put it in
I will. I'll put it in the.
You know what you didn't do last night, Nomad?
What didn't I do?
You didn't put it in the Elam Plot article.
Yeah, you know why? Because I wrote that 2 weeks ago.
You said you were gonna do it,
and then we said it. Yeah, I know. I said I was gonna do it. I didn't do it.
All right,
Guess
so
who
why don't
went
you
back
address
and
that
did it?
first? Why don't you address that first?
No, I already did it. I did
ago.
it for him.
Thank you, Kyle.
Anyway, get your tickets.
Own it.
Get your
Lobdell.
tickets.
You don't even have season tickets to Who's Number One. Nomad. That's what's
a great point.
That's what's cool. So, Willie, I don't know if you have anything to say about Who's Number One. We're really excited about it. I know that much.
No, I mean, I did a little video about it, explaining sort of a little bit of the process and talking about it a little bit. And I'm thankful that we can give the kids a good experience. I think hopefully there's a good crowd there, and to have the athletes and the parents in one of the most storied buildings in wrestling. I think that's what it's all about, is to show the kids a good time and make high school wrestling uber important.
Yeah.
Oh, Willie, I was told to pitch this to you. If we don't have a national anthem singer, Patrick Kennedy's sister said she wants to do it.
Wow.
Pat Kennedy's mom
Wow.
told me that. So, just a thought. I wanted to just say it on here because I knew it was gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. I haven't.
You haven't locked down a national anthem singer?
Hey, it's very important.
I have not. But I'm kind of concerned about Grandma Kennedy because
You should
she
be.
is supposedly a spark plug.
That's what I'm talking
She's a-
about. Let's make sure she's front row. Get
Yes.
Granny front row. That should be always the rule. Penn State does it. Okay. Where are we going next? Want to go to questions?
Did we hit?
Questions.
Hey, okay. Before we
do
go to
that next
questions, can you give me 3 minutes?
30 minutes?
3 minutes.
No problem.
Okay.
In the doc, he put 180 seconds.
Yes. It's 3 minutes. Okay. So, Junior Worlds wrapped up. Greco got 3 medals, right? Most ever by junior Greco team. I am trying to wrap my brain around why we do better at the junior level than on cadet and seniors, and I have determined that we need more buy-in from coaches, which is extremely hard because Greco doesn't necessarily always translate to folk style. But going to have a lot of conversations with a lot of people, and hopefully we can figure out, maybe how to keep this going, because clearly we have talent, right? These guys do really well on the junior level, and then we can't turn it into senior level medals. So I'm working on some stuff. I'm going to be talking to people, right? Had a long conversation with Zach Dominguez. I'm sure I'll end up speaking with Gary Mayab. But the only way that those medals are going to turn into senior level medals is with college coach buy-in. And so there has to be some strategy to make those athletes also excel in folk style.
Explain college coach buy-in. So what you're saying is you're getting back to the old point where we need, and I'm not trying, you got to be sensitive here. I'm trying to offend anybody, but you're saying
It's going to be tough.
Our talent pool needs to be broader.
Yeah. So very simply, this is what I mean. And I totally understand if college coaches don't, because again, like it hasn't necessarily transitioned well. But the main two options for Greco guys after high school right now is Northern Michigan and the OPTC. That can't be the only thing. Imagine if in freestyle we're like, hey, Iowa and Oklahoma State, you are the only two schools. Hold on, Willie. You are the only two schools responsible for beating Russia and Iran and Japan and Georgia and Cuba. Not feasible, right? So you need more options. So whatever the number is, whether it's 6, whether it's 8, whether it's 10, there needs to be more options for the guys going forward. Otherwise, we're gonna cap out. So that was all.
All right, that only took not even 120 seconds. So, good time.
I could debate that. I could debate those points, but I don't know if I want to.
Well, we can debate them.
But the
later.
broader point, we didn't even say the names of the junior Greco medalists. Why don't you give them a little shine here, Nomad?
Sure. My apologies.
No.
Peyton Omania wins bronze. Austin Nutter wins bronze, and Colton Schultz once again makes the finals. There's also a picture of them from USA Wrestling. That is a tremendous group, a troika of hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Peyton Omania is right, very right, high and tight. Nutter with the long flowing locks, and then Colton Schultz with he's a massive guy. He's got massive hair.
A lot going on there.
Long flowing locks. Didn't Nutter have dreads or braids?
Yeah, well, they took a picture after when he took him out, post competition.
Okay.
Yeah.
What, Willie?
We can continue at a later time, but I just wanted to get that out.
Under your theory, why? So then, first of all, when you say we're having much more success at juniors than seniors, we're not really having a whole lot of success at juniors.
Yeah, comparatively, we are.
Demonstrably more. We have like 5 times as many junior medals in a 10-year span, 12-year span as we do in senior level. And then those guys go on to make the senior level team and don't medal.
Well,
so something is being lost.
Okay, but they're. I mean, where are they going to train? Where are those guys going to train? Are you saying they would be? I mean, most of them go a strict Greco route. I mean, Kamal Bay is going a strict Greco route. A lot of them go a strict Greco route. A lot of them go to Northern Michigan, or Hancock OTC. So to say they're not getting the training or what? I mean, I don't know what you're saying.
My point is, NMU and the OPTC they're doing what they can. They're maxed out. Those 2 places cannot be the only options. Just like the only option for senior level can't be the armed forces. There has to be a broader set of options. Whether that happens or not, I don't know.
And what I'm saying is, the junior medalists that we do have are going a training strictly Greco. And it's not translating. So I don't know how.
Well, Willie,
somebody.
Yeah, I'm acknowledging that though, Will.
He's saying what Nomad. How I'm reading it, what he's not coming out and saying is that the OTC and NMU are not the best options, or we need more.
It's not that they're not the best options. There's more options. Like they are doing what they are setting out to do. Right? They are taking teenage Greco talent and getting them to a certain level by the time they're 21. But then. Those are the only things. You need more bodies. You need more coaches involved. You need more money involved. It's a whole series of things that those guys are maxing out or not achieving their potential based on junior level results.
Yeah, that's
all.
I don't know if I understand it either. Okay, a couple late questions here. Oliver, our guy Oliver Stone wants to know if you're drinking a beer right now.
No free ads, but it is a.
No, give him the free ad.
It is. It's Topo Chico. It's Topo Chico.
Someone asked on Facebook if you were drinking Heineken, and I just said yes.
Topo Chico, if you don't, I didn't really know what it was. It's just like seltzer water, but that's lime flavored seltzer water.
Hey, did anybody watch?
Twisted Creek.
Did anybody watch Cola Wars?
Don't know what that is.
Huh?
Is that a Hungarian Greco tournament?
No, Cola Wars. COLA. Came out the other day. It's a story of Pepsi versus Coke. But I thought about it because Coca-Cola bought Topo Chico and immediately upped the price by 150%. Just same product. Just was like, now it's $2.50 a bottle.
Well, we get it for 0% here.
Someone pays for it. Okay, enough. No, it's not a morning beer. Spencer question. Considering he has not wrestled in freestyle in 3+ years, he wants to make the Olympic team. Would a Snyder-like season mixing folk or full red shirt and only freestyle make more sense? Sorry, I don't know if I read that right or if that's not worded right. But yeah, should he consider that? I think he should do kind of a hybrid season. I think perfect world, Spencer has a limited folk style season. While, first of all, he's not qualified for the trials, so he'll have to qualify via Farrell and or U.S. Open.
Well, he can also win NCAAs.
Or he could win NCAAs, but then you're
putting it down to
literally banking on that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, when's last chance?
Oh, yeah, there is a last chance.
There's a last chance.
But even then, that'd
still be tough, because then you would have to go NCAAs, basically probably the next week, last chance, then...
And yes, I know Gilman did it. That was awesome. Still dicey.
Also,
that was not.
Well, also was very different because he had lots of time between NCAAs and Last Chance. Remember, he had lots of time.
That's not even a good comparison. You're right.
Yeah. So very different scenarios there.
It's also 2 different questions, because if we're just isolating it to what Spencer should do for his Olympic aspirations, of course he should wrestle freestyle. However, Spencer is.
There's a team title.
Yeah, crucial to Iowa. And, I mean, ultimately, they only need him for Big Tens and NCAAs.
Yeah.
But it's a whole thing, right? They have these these 6 monster home duels, right? Midlands, all these things that it's a big thing for Iowa. I mean, Anthony Cassiope didn't go to junior trials, I believe, as part of this push for the title. So I don't expect Spencer to do a lot of freestyle because of that. But yes, should he do it for his Olympic aspirations? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So we'll see how they play it. Maybe we'll learn more about the plan as time goes on. But I'd be surprised to see him do the full D1 season. And
so you think he will?
I think something's got to give there. And
I mean, you're right. He has to qualify.
Well, he has to qualify, and also look at the history. This guy has had injury issues. Mm-hmm. Okay, why overexpose him to multiple matches? I think you have to keep him fresh for D1. I think you have to keep him fresh for Olympic trials and beyond. And to do that, I don't think you can have him say, "Yeah, wrestle every duel," and also go to the Open or Farrell or wherever, and maybe it is only one tournament, but I mean, to me, and maybe they don't look at it like this, but it would seem like he would need an international rep too, not just an Open to qualify, but like, does he need a Urigan or a Medved or a something, right?
So
that would seem to benefit him.
So when you first said that he needs to qualify, my mind went 2 places. Which is, number one, the thing I said at the beginning of the show, which is we could see a lot of college guys at the Farrell, right? Like, we saw Gwiz at the Farrell, and we saw Adam Kuhn at the Farrell in 2015 because they were trying to get their qualification done. So he could do that. If he wants, like, the easiest path, it's probably the Schultz in January, just in terms of the field that he's going to see. But if he also wants to do that international rep, right, Urigan or whatever it is, then yeah, it's going to have to be Farrell. I mean, I guess the Open too, but
I think
you want space in between.
I think he'll be at the Open. I think a lot of these guys will prioritize the Open.
Now, that's like not too soon before Midlands.
It's December 20th. Yeah, it's like 10 days before. That's what I'm saying. Something's going to probably have to give here at some point. So we'll see the decisions they make. I think it can go a lot of different directions.
Did we ever... Here's where you guys make fun of me for not remembering what we talked about in those previous shows. But did we talk about Mackay and all the implications that it has to do?
Oh yeah, we did.
We talked, and how it maybe helps Penn State and Iowa, but maybe Iowa a little more because Marinelli's 2-0 against Chinzo, but Chinzo's Chinzo, so who really knows if that actually helps? But bottom line, it helps them both because he is a threat to both of them. So maybe it balances out.
And real quick before we move on, the main guys that are affected or potentially affected by Olympic red shirts or just the having to go through the process if they want to do Olympic trials for the 2 big schools, which is Iowa and Penn State this year, are just Spencer and Mark Hall, right? And then Dayton for Oklahoma State. Right? There's not like anybody else that we're missing?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So those 3 will be the ones we'll be watching very closely over the next few months.
Mm-hmm.
What's Renan's wrestling, right? Renan's wrestling college.
Yes. 197. He was at the match.
Yeah.
He was pretty big looking. Okay.
Was John there?
Yes, he brought me a giant beef rib. Thank you, John, from Louis Mueller's. It was delicious.
Wait, from Louis Mueller's?
Yeah.
Like Jack Mueller's dad? Or family?
Is his name Louis?
That's what I'm asking.
Oh no, it was the name of a place in Taylor, Texas. I think no relation to the Mueller family.
Just coincidence.
Jack, if you're listening, is your father's name Louis, and or does he make delicious barbecue that he sells?
No, his dad's name's not Louis.
It's Michael.
Michael Mueller. But oftentimes, Louis is a nickname for Michael. I've seen it many times, so this could be an example of that. Here's a question from Dyson Gould. Who is the bigger wrestling fan, Olivia Brackey or Katie Piles? I think I know the answer to this.
I have no idea.
Well, here's what I'd say. Currently, right now, in terms of knowing the scene, knowing what's going on in Division I wrestling, I think it's Olivia Brackey. She knows the wrestlers a lot better. I think Kyle forces his lovely wife to watch a lot of wrestling.
She's gotten into it.
Yeah, she's into it. She likes sports. Katie could take sports or leave them. She likes wrestling, but I will give Katie the edge in that she has done hours and days and weeks worth of bleacher suffering coming to my brothers and my matches when I was coaching, sitting in horrible high school gyms for days on end, sometimes with my children.
That's a real one.
I give her the edge on grinding it out at the lower scene, but as a higher level fan, I give it to Olivia. So it's a classic split decision here, and they can duke it out. But I bet they both don't care for this title. And also, we saw the lovely Olivia Bracke this weekend. She looks great. Looks like her pregnancy is coming along very, very smoothly, Kyle.
They were both there.
Everything's going good.
Yes.
A lot of wives were there.
Yes. It was like a flow party.
It was.
All our families
Joe
were
K's
there.
wife was there?
Joe Kenya, my wife, Mike's
This is
wife.
Mike Mao. Yeah.
Mike's wife, yep.
Mark Flo, my boss Ray, our boss Ray.
Bader's
not Ray.
family was there.
Bader's family.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool. Glad we're all there.
That's why Round Rock just needs to be the place.
David Bray,
Round Rock.
some of the grappling guys. Yeah, go Round Rock. Okay, next question.
Go Dragons.
How much would the Hawkeye hater crap his pants, Willie, if both Gallagher and Vasquez announced commitments to Iowa at who's number one?
Hawkeye hater, yeah. Hawkeye hater that just spent like the last month of his life pulling what little hair I have left out, trying to move mountains to get who's number one to Iowa City. That's how much I hate Iowa.
That's how much you hate it.
Nomad's getting off easy here because he used to be the Hawkeye hater.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Was so funny because there was the one virtual whiteboard where we did where I was the only one that picked Iowa.
To do what?
Beat Oklahoma State.
Oh. Well, it's
This
too
year?
late then.
Was it this year?
No, this
Or
was
the year before?
Yeah, this was the year before.
I remember that. You
Man,
were-
all of my awesome memories of going to Iowa Oklahoma State matches, I have countless because I can't count them because there are none.
Nomad was
Where were you this
Preps and
So let's see. I've been to 5 counties.
Oh.
I've been to national preps, and what was the other one? Because there's been 3.
he's never been to an Iowa Oklahoma State duel, and he's always at other places, which are fine.
And
But
it's so
when you-
funny because every time the duel is in Stillwater and we have it live, like we take everybody.
Everyone's
except
there.
Nomad.
Ben Askren goes. Sion's there.
Yeah.
Nomad's at preps.
So I expect to
Yeah.
be sent to Monster Match.
Yeah, Monster Match or something.
You can go to Monster Match.
Yeah. No, you won't miss this.
It won't be what you think it is,
These
but you
won't-
can go.
These will not conflict. Okay. Next question.
I had to get
Yeah,
that
Willie. Oh, I am all in on a dunk take for Willie at who's number one.
Yeah.
Willie, would you commit to a dunk take?
Yeah, I already thought about it. I'm gonna be no shirt. And I'm gonna have a big Penn State logo.
Oh,
Check.
that would be hilarious. I'm dead serious. You should actually do that.
When we put that out
It
on
was-
Twitter, some Lehigh Valley place that has a dunk take offered it up for free. And I was like, well, this is
Then we gotta
awkward
transport it, yeah.
we're not coming back there.
Don't tell him that. So yeah, I think we need to do that. If Askren can't come and do it, I think you're the next best option, Willie.
Yeah, it was funny because me, CP, and Askren were on a text group. We were texting and we're just shooting the breeze. And what were we talking about, Christian? Anything important?
Tax reform.
We were talking about tax reform, and I said, Ben, dude, I know what we should do. We should set up a dunk tank and have you in it. Who's number one? And he was like, I totally would, but I have to go to a wedding that day.
Yeah. So bummer.
So I guess I have to do it.
All right. This is another good question, and we have to do this. Will Willie test the waters, go out for beers Friday night in Iowa City, or will he pick up Casey's Pizza and a 6er of Natty Light for the hotel room? So there's a lot of things here. One, Willie will 100% go to the hotel room. Two, we have to make him. We have to force feed him Casey's Pizza.
Well, first of all, shouldn't it be Busch Light if we're in Iowa?
Don't get hung up on that.
Okay, sorry.
Casey's. The point is Casey's Pizza. Willie, will you try Casey's Pizza? Will you commit? You will eat one slice of Casey's breakfast pizza.
No, wait, hold on now. That's the kicker.
Breakfast.
I'll try Casey's Pizza. Please do not try to have me eat the breakfast pizza.
You're so
Can
far
I just
above
have
it, dude.
Can I just have
Willie,
No, I just saw it and it looks terrible.
What is the difference?
It does not look terrible. JMZ, our wonderful intern, has now spread his wings and flew away. Loved it.
Yeah, he loved it. You just have to try it. Sometimes things look bad and taste good. All the poison you put in your body, you can't suck it up for a slice of Iowa wholesomeness. You snob.
Fine.
It's like the third most consumed
Wait, hold
pizza
on.
in the world.
Say it. Say what? Say what you're gonna do.
I will try. I don't know. I can't commit to eating like the full slice, maybe, but I will try a slice of the breakfast pizza and a slice of the regular. The regular, I'm not like too standoffish about. It's the egg. They look like powdered. It looks like fake meat and egg on a pizza. That's what it looks like.
Don't worry about what it looks like.
What if we blindfolded you and we're just like, hey, we're eating pizza, buddy?
Blindfold pizza time. All right, so he's eating Casey's breakfast pizza. He's on the record. We're going to film it. This was filmed.
Is that what people rave about, though, for Casey's? Is the breakfast pizza? I thought it was just Casey's Pizza in general.
It feels like the breakfast pizza has a real cult
Someone
following.
just said on Facebook, Casey's breakfast pizza is the best.
There you go.
So suck it, Will.
Well, I think it's the fact that most people eat pizza for breakfast as a leftover option, right? So kind of cold pizza. Casey's
It's like
pushes
it's a casserole.
the hot, ready breakfast pizza.
I can't wait.
Nomad, you like it? You've had it, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
I've never had it either. Not for snobbish reasons. Just never been in a Casey's at breakfast time. Also, the closest Casey's I've been to was the one at Fargo, and as we all know, I have the cafeteria pass at Fargo. Which is
soup.
which is definitely better than I'm sorry, probably
It's not.
It's definitely better than Casey's breakfast. It was good.
It's really not.
The Fargo cafeteria was delicious and kept me moving. So I was pumped
You
about
guys.
that. All right. If the Olympic redshirt criteria is set by USA Wrestling, then why would Miocic be eligible? Seems like it should be. A lot of people are asking this. The American wrestlers. I don't know. I'm assuming it does not matter.
I have thought that is weird.
He took an Olympic red shirt for America and Serbia.
I'm like,
He's not only is he taking 2 Olympic red shirts, he's out for 2 nations.
like,
I love it.
you guys know
Go
where I
for
stand
it.
on like people wrestling for other countries, so I'm not entirely against taking an Olympic red shirt. It just is extremely odd that the criteria
it's odd.
somehow also allows for international guys.
I don't think it's odd because there are a ton of
Probably in
foreigners in track.
Yeah,
Tennis also.
and archery. I'm assuming
Mostly archery.
No.
there are a lot of Swedish archers. Made that up. Okay.
In the U.S. at college programs.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. All right. What's the other? We had a bunch. They're all pretty good.
Any from Sparky Blue Man?
No, the Boo Man was MIA. Oh, I actually asked this question, Brock Desert. Did we ever reach a conclusion if it's allowed to confirm a 2-2 when the one guy had to the air thing? No, I did not get confirmation that. I actually asked Coach Cole. I was like, did that come up? They're like, actually, that did not come up at all. It was just kind of like another thing. Oh, this will make Penn State fans even more mad, but I'm sorry. So Silvestri, I said this was like the main. There's one of the witnesses for USA Wrestling. Silvestri watched the entire match and rescored it. He rescored the entire thing, and he scored it 6-6 for Zain. Because
the opening sequence.
the opening sequence should have been 4-2, not 4-2-2, which I think we all actually agreed with that.
And we brought that up at the time.
But the brick didn't come.
We brought that up at the time too.
Yeah, we said that.
In the entirety of the match, it's very easy to argue that the way it went could have gone for Zain.
Right. So that's notable. I wanted to mention that. I forgot to mention it.
That opening, good Lord, that opening exchange was so fire, and it lasted forever, right? Was that in the first match or the second match?
That was first match had a crazy exchange that ended with they
The
spun
dreidel
around.
sequence?
Yeah, where he just spun around. That was in match 1.
Oh, maybe.
That was in match 1. Match 2, double leg right away from Zain. Boom, drops him on his side for 4, and then Yianni rolls him through sort of twice, but not really. It should have just been the one.
That was also, that's why I think Yianni's going to win the thing, because, why didn't Zain do that in Turkey?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I know Yianni makes adjustments and all that, but, I don't know. Zain had an extremely good game plan that night, and he executed it very well.
Yeah, I think, man, here's the thing. All right, we've seen a couple iterations of this. Match 1, Yianni Zain. Yianni wins, scoring off his own stuff, but also from counters. A late counter iced it for him. Then in the series, Zain was able to get to legs and finish much more effectively. And Yianni was not able to get to legs much at all. And then at Yasser Dogu, Yianni was timing the level change fakes of Zain perfectly, and he was on his legs a lot of the match and forced some more exchanges and ended up winning. So now obviously Zain and the Sandersons are going to have a different game plan. They're going to know, okay, you can't just level change fake indiscriminately and not pay for it against Yianni. So what's the next thing?
It's Kale and Cody with, right? Because I know sometimes there's guys with KC and sometimes, and before I say this is not me armchair quarterbacking. This is things I've discussed with Yianni, or I've gotten Yanni's opinion on, because he's the one actually wrestling. But Yanni's too scrambly sometimes. Right, it gets him in trouble. Got him in trouble with Zain. Got him in trouble against Ogun Sanyan in Poland. And I think the next step, and again, these things I've discussed with Yianni, the next step is him keeping guys off his legs, because he has gotten more offensive. He knows how to put up points, but he also sometimes gets himself in trouble with his scrambling that in folk style basically bails him out a lot.
Well, I think he said as much after the Open as well, that in the interview afterwards. Right. So he's got to get a little more baseline, and it's probably true.
So that's my concern, that if he wins, that the foreigners are going to try to get him in these goofy positions, and that in general I like it, but when you get to that highest level, those guys are smart.
Is it possible for Zain to appeal the decision by the arbitrator? No. The ruling is final. This is happening. Got any Madden codes? No. I don't have any Madden codes. Asks, who asked that? Reagan Wright. Coach Wright, BV.
How about FIFA codes?
I have no codes.
Tell him, hit up All Business Pete. At All Business Pete.
Okay. I don't know who that is, but I guess he's got the codes.
He does.
Is the U.S. Open in December? Yes. And it is in, did we not say this?
Round Rock, Texas.
Well, Northern Round Rock, also known as Dallas.
Fort Worth.
Round Rock.
We're just calling it Round Rock.
Man, so I was talking to a guy from Texas USA Wrestling, Randall. I really wanted it to be in Frisco, where they have women's nationals, because there's a lot of hotels there and there's a lot of entertainments. There's a lot of stuff for people to do between sessions and at night and stuff. The quote that they gave to have it there was outrageous. So, in the Frisco area.
Let's talk quotes. What are we talking?
$30,000 a night.
Wow, that's not
bad. So 90,000.
90K.
Because it's a
little steep.
So geez, Frisco, chill out.
Where are they having it?
Somewhere I don't remember exactly. Somewhere in Fort Worth.
Round Rock.
Round Rock.
It's in Round Rock. That's gonna be awesome. Okay, there's some more good.
There actually is an awesome arena in Round Rock.
Yeah, the HEB Center. Mm-hmm. Very nice. Mm-hmm. Okay, Matthew Klein. I'll be graduating and applying for jobs this year. Any tips on where to apply? Any interview tips? #help. Well, good for you graduating. So I do have some advice for you. One, you have to be as someone who now has the horrible task of hiring people. At times, you get all these applications. You need a way that makes you stand out. Okay, and I'll tell you one example. Now I don't want this spread around because then we're gonna have a bunch of yahoos showing up. But we were not gonna have an intern this summer, and then the angel, John Michael Zach, just showed up one Friday and said he wanted to talk to somebody. So he ends up talking to me. He impressed me. And it's like, man, I really like this guy. Let's figure out how to make it work. And then got him an intern, and he's awesome. And hopefully one day we can hire John Michael.
Well, I think
He's
your
still
point
gonna
there
be
is
doing stuff for us too.
Yeah, and now he's working for us part time.
well, I think your point there is initiative.
Initiative. Show me something. Well, not just initiative. It does show initiative to show up, but otherwise you're just a list of applications, and they're all really similar, and it is somewhat arbitrary how you pare down these lists. So you got to differentiate yourself. Find your way to. I mean, it's not always like this. I mean, we definitely are not the most conventional hiring, and I know you're not trying to work here either. But I'm just saying,
Maybe he is.
In general, you have to find a way to differentiate yourself. Now, you need to be an impressive person when you meet people.
Yeah.
So I hope you have good manners, and I hope you're impressive and a confident communicator. If not, you should Matthew Klein, if you're not a good communicator, you should not employ this tactic. But John Michael Zach was, and then here he is now.
Also, just like this is obvious, but just be yourself, right?
No.
Don't.
Just like you were in your
Yeah,
interview process.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
don't.
I was getting ready to say, do
Anywhere
the
else-
exact opposite of what Nomad did.
Nomad, I don't know how it happened. And maybe we've told this story on radio before, but it bears telling every single time. This dude rolls up. First of all, they rarely fly people in, but they flew him in. And when did they fly him in? When we were all gone. Pretty sure we were all at Akron.
Normally they put people up at like
Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn. I got the Van Zant,
Which is very nice.
Whatever is the nicest hotel in your town. This is the nicest one in Austin.
So they put him up there, Nomad, okay? He is late for the interview. He's just late. To the point that Melissa, I'm pretty sure, had to call you and be like, where are you? And you're like,
Well, I
don't
can tell that story if you want.
Go ahead and tell me.
Okay, so in the interview process, there was one single email chain where everything was being worked out. And then an itinerary was sent to me in a wholly separate email. And I was like, hey, I never got this. And so I got...
But you did get it.
Well, yeah, right. That's what I'm getting to. So I got in, and I called them, and I was like, hey, I didn't get anything, right? Like, that email just kind of stopped. I don't know what's going on. And Melissa goes, oh, your interview's in 15 minutes. And I am more than 15 minutes away, and I need to shower, and yeah. all
Okay,
that
so
stuff.
there's that.
Get dressed.
That's an item. Oh, getting dressed. But did he bring pants? Yes or no? Just yes or no. Did you bring pants?
No,
He did not bring pants.
I forgot them. They were sitting on my bed at home.
He wore a dress shirt, shorts, and boots.
No, not like basketball shorts or fight shorts. They were like,
Khaki shorts.
Yeah, they were like nice shorts, but they were shorts nonetheless.
His hair was peak Nomad length. It was long.
Extremely long.
We should.
First of all,
Nomad. Hold on. Nomad's pretty good on camera, right? He has a big personality, good communicator. Your screening test,
Awful.
abysmal.
I had no idea what I was doing.
It's funny now because obviously no one's going to be really good at that. Actually, one person was. Y'all don't know who she is, but her name's Janelle. It was like, wow, she was like a star the first time. But everyone else just kind of stinks their first time. But his was like, is he on some sort of sleep medication right now? It was like the sleepiest version of Nomad. If I can find it, I will not show you. But we will watch it internally and get a good laugh.
Yeah, which
I gotta find it. It's somewhere.
Which come back around to Matt's thing. So there's like getting the job, and then there's actually doing the work there. Like some people are just resume people.
I found it.
Right? They can. Oh, sweet! Can't wait. To
Hold on. This is all I'm gonna show. I'm not gonna show. I'm not gonna hit the play button. But I'm gonna go max screen. This is what the kid looked like back in the day. I know this is bad radio.
Fire.
You can't see.
Fire.
But check
We'll
our mans.
screenshot it.
Check our mans. That's the screener. We hired him. Great decision, but sometimes you just gotta act on gut.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Basically, we were just gonna hire him.
Basically,
no matter
we decided we were gonna hire him.
No matter what happened, we were gonna hire him because you couldn't have messed it up any worse than what you did.
That's what
I wanted to make it hard. I wanted to test your loyalties, your intelligence. I wanted to make it hard on you guys.
It's
First
pretty
of all,
rare.
for some reason,
Only Nomad would tank his screener for a job he wants, but he did it, and it worked. Congrats,
Also,
Nomad.
One of my favorite parts is that he flew from Baltimore to Austin and didn't tell his parents
Didn't
that
tell
he
him.
was going on this job interview.
Were you living at home at the time?
Mm-hmm.
So they just didn't know where you were at all.
I mean, I was only gone for 36 hours.
I know, but buddy.
Not enough time to file a missing persons report.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. This is
Well,
incredible.
36 hours? Didn't you miss your flight home?
No. Not
Something
remotely.
happened that you. Something.
No,
happened.
there's a story that I've told you that's funny that cannot be told on air, but it's great.
Well, what else? Another thing that was stupid about the whole thing is that for some reason, me and Christian had to.
Kyle, get on Slack.
The weekend that you were coming here, or the week that you were coming here, me and Christian had to go to an event, so we were not on site.
You had to go to Akron.
And-
We were in Akron.
All of you were in Akron.
And I call Ray and I'm like, how'd it go? And he was like, well, he was a half hour late and he was dressed like a street urchin. He looked like a street urchin. Those were the words, street urchin.
This also really messed with my head because looking back, I don't think he did it on
Pull it
purpose.
up. Turn around your computer, Bracky.
I don't think he did it on purpose. But all right, I'll tell us what Bracky's gonna pull it up. So, at the time was when the whole
hang on, I'm
Bill
trying to-
Zadok hiring was going on, right?
Oh.
And it was like that whole process.
Turn around like
and
this.
he asked me who I thought was gonna get the job, but like they'd already done the FRL where Zadok got hired. And oh, look at that fire!
Oh, dang it. It's all white.
Yeah, it's all white.
We'll tweet it. We'll tweet a great picture.
But so I didn't know if he was
He
like,
looks like he's in the Ramones.
yeah, if he was messing with me, like, do I need to call this person out who's gonna be my boss and be like, no, you fool, like it's already happened, which I didn't end up doing, but that really threw me off. So be prepared for goofy questions like that, Matthew Klein.
Yeah. So basically, don't do what Nomad did yet. At the same time, maybe. All right, I just sent a tweet out. Check my Twitter.
So much fire.
It's it's something else. Man, you look so much better with short hair. It's just really unbelievable.
It is really unbelievable.
It's really.
You also
something.
got me blinking, but whatever.
But I tell you, it's the first image of the screen test. It's the first image. It's perfect. You may as well.
Oh my God.
You may as well have been unconscious during this
The
thing.
crazy thing is, I have no recollection of that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like doing it. Because people like you or like I think Freble or somebody brought it up a few weeks ago, and I'm like, I don't remember this at all.
Your screen test?
Not remotely.
Yeah.
Did you, when you came,
Well, it was pretty forgettable.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that when you came down here, in addition to applying for this job and having an interview, you also auditioned for Dazed and Confused too.
Did the school where Days Confused was filmed is like a mile from where I now live.
Really?
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
And I love that movie.
I bet you do.
It's the most accurate depiction of high school.
I'm just curious. While we're on a Nomad train, Bailey Brown wants to know, which is at Dan's Brita filter. I'm just curious, what's on Nomad's workout playlist right now? Would love to hear what he's bumping for a pumping.
Oh God.
Well, nothing. But like, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how people go into the like. I went in the sauna yesterday. I don't know how you do this a lot.
Yeah.
You take your phone in there.
Mm-hmm. There's a way you can do it.
I don't know how that's good for the phone. I mean, you do it enough, so I'm like, okay, it must be.
Yeah.
But I'm also just like, I don't know. I feel like you should be on your phone in the sauna, but it also gets kind of boring if you're just in there by yourself. You could be stretching or whatever.
I listen to. I like listening to podcasts in there and just like chill. But yeah, if you, I get another towel. I wrap it in the towel.
Yeah,
and it keeps it cool.
But there is something to
like,
the like if I'm doing something, or like when I was in high school, training for stuff. I liked I always liked the concept of like, well, there's no music in your ears like when you're doing your thing, right? Like when you're playing football, when you're running track, when you're wrestling, there's no like earbuds in, so you gotta just kind of like train the environment in which you compete.
Wow.
Somebody's pumping for a bumping right now. Tell them jackhammers to settle down.
It's not happening.
Yeah, it's actually not happening right now.
For once. I don't know what you're hearing. That's at your house, Willie.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
Well, it ain't here for once. So basically, wait. You didn't. So you don't listen
It's
to music.
Kyle. It's Kyle's leg going nonstop.
Nope. Kyle's legs are not moving.
Yeah, rewind the tape. He was just doing it. He
Rewind
stopped
it.
like a child. He stopped like a child. He just stopped doing it. Nope, wasn't me.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
shot there. You go with that. So he doesn't. Well, Nomad also doesn't. You work out.
Not recently.
Nomad doesn't work out either. So there's no.
Play spike ball.
He does play spike ball.
Go in
and
the sauna.
He does sauna.
I like taking my walks around Town Lake, but no, lifting, nah.
You don't have to live. I mean, there's so many different ways to work out.
Yeah, but like running I pissed off Flow Bikes last week. I'm gonna piss off Flow Track right now. Running is just like a thing. I don't get it. I don't know how people do it. I have to trick myself. Like if I'm like, oh, I need to run, I need to trick myself. I need to play basketball. I need to play soccer. Like there has to be some activity by which I'm running. I can't just like run.
Yeah, you're not on an island there, buddy.
I don't. The runner's high thing, lost on me.
Yeah. How many college guys will wrestle at the U.S. Open? I think we'll see a lot. I think it's gonna be a really good tournament. Last year or 4 years ago or whatever it was a really good field. I don't know how many college guys went, but Dake, Ruth, Taylor, Reeder, Gavin, all in one weight. It was legit. So excited for that. Pretty sure Chris Perry and Anthony Valencia sort of got in a fight. I remember that kind of well. That was interesting.
There was multiple things happening at that weight class.
What else?
Well, Valley tried to break somebody's arm again.
Massa, I think.
Yeah.
He does that.
Which was a classic thing in which something weird or controversial or funny happens on a FloWrestling video, and the actual video isn't good, but then there's like a reverse angle of a match from across the way that you can see it much better.
Oh,
That tournament was fire.
It was really good. I was in Reno last time. Maybe
There was
I
a good.
hope to be there
There was a
this year.
good. I was there. Hal wrestled in the finals and won. Dake Taylor was a final. There was a good heavyweight final.
Pico wrestled a bunch
Really-
of really good dudes.
Oh yeah.
So,
And then that's where the hump nasty.
Yeah.
He hit-
the bomb on Pico.
Yeah.
He also wrestled Stieber, I think.
Who?
Hey, so
Jimmy? Who won that? 60? Was it Kennedy?
yeah, he
Kennedy beat Logan.
he cartwheeled against Logan.
Kennedy won that whole thing with Reese and Logan.
Kennedy was undefeated against Logan. That was Logan's like kryptonite for a while.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, so without looking it up, did 86 at that Open have Ruth versus Taylor,
Yes.
an awesome Dake Reeder match,
Yes.
the Dake Taylor final, and then
Yes.
the Ruth Reeder craziness? Did that all happen at that?
Ruth Reeder was trials.
That was Wisconsin.
Oh, that was same year, but or like in May
the
or
year
whatever.
before. Yep.
Yeah,
Or yeah.
2015, but just yeah, okay.
2015 trials. So okay.
But wasn't that Ruth Taylor match? I don't know, controversial, but some people thought it was, right?
Oh, he teched him.
I know, but wasn't it a similar like?
He fireman's carried him. I don't know. I didn't find it.
I gotta go back and watch it.
Maybe they did. I did not find it particularly controversial. Okay.
Hey, good response.
Are we good to call it?
Yeah, I got 3% on the computer battery right here.
Okay, we're threat level midnight.
Yeah.
Because Chargers. Owen, he was ready. He was like, finally. Owen's like, finally. These guys are wrapping up. Maybe it was Caleb. We'll never know for sure who hit the button. But we thank you guys so much for listening. 399 down. One more. And we are going to have, and yeah, it's going to be Thursday, the mega show. We're going to start at 8 o'clock probably. We might go till 9:30. I don't care.
Kale, Gable, Brands.
They're all coming.
Will
Smith,
all
be
not be on the
discussed.
show.
They'll all be discussed. We will for this show.
John Smith.
We're gonna stream it on social media. We're gonna upload it to iTunes afterwards. We're gonna do it all, guys, and it's all for you. Thanks for your support of Flow Wrestling Radio Live. We will. Hey, Yianni Zain news hopefully dropping soon. We'll let you know when and where because we know you're gonna show up. Because we know Round Rock, Texas is not gonna show you up, New York City. You would not allow that to happen. Thanks a lot. See you Thursday.